I actually tweaked my shoulder a few days ago. Internally rotate, and oh, okay, that hurts. No pain at all. Okay, so that seems to be okay. So narrow grip pull-ups kind of hurt a little bit. Wide grip pull-ups, okay. So am I stressed? Not at all. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another vlog. So today I have something a little bit different for you guys. I actually tweaked my shoulder a few days ago. I used it a lot that day. I did a whole upper body workout. I was shoveling snow, and I also was frisbeeing, and I think when I was frisbeeing, I actually tweaked something in my shoulder. And as many of you guys know, and for those of you guys who don't know, I am right now a physical therapy student. About halfway done with school now, actually. And I figured this is a good opportunity to kind of delve into the topic of injuries, since injuries are not a preventable thing in working out and training. Although you can minimize the chances of injuries when you're training, it's never 100% preventable because we are putting our bodies under stress. So today I am just going to kind of talk about my injury. We're gonna do a few tests and few exercises to see what hurts my shoulder and see if I can kind of figure out what's going on. And then I'm gonna show you guys how I manage my injuries. I think I tweaked my rotator cuff because I was a swimmer for 16 years and I hurt my rotator cuff all the time doing swimming, and it feels very similar to how it felt when I was a swimmer. The good thing about injuries is that this doesn't mean that I have to stop training completely. I'm gonna try a few different exercises to see what exercises aggravate it and what doesn't, and I can modify my training around that. So let's go try and figure out what's going on. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a resistance band and I'm gonna test both external and internal rotation, because the rotator cuff primarily, it does external rotation, internal rotation. It also abducts your shoulder, which means bringing your shoulder out this way. And the other primary function is to keep your arm bone, aka the humerus, stable with your scapula, aka the shoulder socket. So I'm gonna test external rotation by grabbing the band like this and just pulling out, keeping the elbows next to your side like this so that you prevent your lateral delts from activating. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna externally rotate both arms like this, and I actually feel no pain at all. So that's a good thing. Usually external rotation is what really hurts a lot. So that doesn't hurt. So next thing we can do is we can try internal rotation. So again, keeping my elbow next to my side, and then I'm gonna internally rotate, and oh, okay, that hurts. Ooh, yeah, no, that definitely doesn't feel great. Let me loosen this up a little bit to give less resistance. Okay, so my internal rotation recreates some pain. I'm gonna do about 10 reps of these and see if that gets better. It's actually getting better already. All right, so external rotation doesn't hurt, internal rotation does hurt. So now what we can do is we can try abduction. So standing right here, just bring my shoulder all the way out like this. No pain at all. Okay, so that seems to be okay. There is 4 muscles in the rotator cuff. There's your supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, and your subscapularis. Out of those 4 muscles, the subscapularis is the one that's responsible for internal rotation. So bringing my arm in this way. And another way I could do a test to prove my hypothesis right is what you can do is called the belly press test. So I'm just gonna put my hand on my belly, and I'm just gonna press on my belly, literally just press on my belly. And that hurts. Like on this arm, I can press my belly pretty hard. You guys can't really see it, but I'm pressing pretty hard and it doesn't hurt at all. But this arm, if I press my belly, definitely feels uncomfortable. It's not like a 10 out of 10 pain, it just feels like a little tweak. Like on a pain scale, I'd give it like a 4. Not enough to like put me out in all activity, but it's enough to be annoying. Okay, so with trying to find out injuries, unless you get like an MRI or any excess like imaging done, it's hard to be 100% confident what exactly is going on. But from what I can tell so far, it definitely is an internal rotation issue for my subscap rotator cuff muscle. So what's the next step? Okay, well, to be honest, just to preface, I'm not a full physical therapist yet. I'm still a student, so I'm going off the knowledge that I've learned so far, and I'm just deducing my own hypothesis from what I got. But in my opinion, honestly, one of the worst things that you could do right now is when you have a kind of like a little pinch and you have a slight pain in your shoulder, not even just your shoulder, anywhere else, is to just stop all activity completely. Obviously, if you tore it and it's a severe like traumatic injury and something bad's going on, yeah, obviously like chill out. But if you have just like a little bit of a tweak where certain movements hurt, certain movements don't, movement is going to be probably one of the best things you can do to speed up that healing process. Because by not doing anything, you're actually just gonna tighten that muscle and the adjacent musculature, and it might make the pain worse. I'm gonna be showing you guys a few physical therapy exercises I'm gonna be doing to treat this. And then after that, I'm gonna be going over some exercises that hurt and that don't hurt, and how I'm gonna modify my training. So the first thing I'm gonna be doing is going to be external rotations. And even though external rotations doesn't hurt and internal rotation isn't my problem, I still want to be continuously strengthening my rotator cuffs, even though they're not injured. Because by keeping those strong, it keeps the whole shoulder complex nice and strong while my weak muscle or injured muscle is trying to heal. So you wanna stay active on those other muscles. So external rotations, doing these, and then we're gonna do the same thing for internal rotation. But since this hurts for me, I wanna be very mindful of where my pain is at. If it's just a tiny little bit of pain that I can endure, then I'm okay with doing these exercises. But if it's at like that's like a 7, 8, 9, or if the pain's getting worse throughout the entire time, then I'm definitely gonna stop. But just doing this with this light band is not bad, very, very minimal pain, and most importantly, it's getting better every repetition. So this is what I'm gonna be doing. And the other thing I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be doing some band pull-throughs like this. This might be uncomfortable for some people who have rotator cuff issues, but for me, this actually feels pretty good. There's no pain here whatsoever. And by doing this, we're gonna keep that shoulder mobile and maintain our range of motion until the injury itself heals. And one of my favorite stretches to do when it's this type of injury is I'm gonna grab onto like a pole or a wall, stand, and then I'm just gonna rotate outwards, just like that. What this does is this stretches your biceps and your anterior delts, because oftentimes when you get a small injury or even a big injury like this, the adjacent musculature can actually tighten up, and you might feel like stiffness in your biceps, your shoulders, and even your neck. You guys might have experienced neck tightness when you have a shoulder injury. It's because of the surrounding musculature can get really tight with an injury like this. All right, so now I'm gonna see what exercises hurt and don't hurt. The key thing with managing minor injuries like this is that you don't have to completely cut out exercise. Just find what doesn't hurt and do that at a manageable load. So let's try a pull-up. Let's try a wide grip pull-up first. That doesn't hurt, like not at all. So wide grip pull-ups are probably an okay choice for me to do right now while this rotator cuff heals. Let's try more of a narrow grip pull-up. So that aggravates it a little bit. So narrow grip pull-ups kind of hurt a little bit. Wide grip pull-ups, okay. Let's try some dips. That didn't feel bad. It didn't hurt at all, but it just felt a little wonky. It felt awkward. So dips I'm probably gonna avoid for a few days just because it just feels weird. Like there was no pain at all, but something just doesn't feel right. So I'm just gonna play safe and not do any dips. But from my test with wide grip pull-ups, yeah, that doesn't hurt at all. So wide grip pull-ups I can still do. And we also can test push-ups. No pain at all. Okay, so I can do wide grip pull-ups and I can do push-ups. Narrow grip pull-ups kind of hurt a little bit. Dips don't hurt, but it just feels wonky, so I'm just gonna play it on the safer side and just not do them for a few days and just focus on the rehab exercises instead. So am I stressed? Not at all. I can do almost every single thing in terms of my daily activities perfectly fine without much pain. Driving the car can be a little bit painful sometimes. It can be uncomfortable, but other than that, I haven't really noticed anything else that is severely or even minimally affected by this injury. So I'm still gonna be training. I'm just gonna be extra careful. Might have to take down the weight just a little bit on the exercises that still feel okay, just to be safe. But my game plan is to just continue training, swapping out exercises that hurt for others, dial back in overall intense training and increase some rehab and prehab work, like the banded external rotation, some stretching, etc. And hopefully within about a week, maybe even less, this pain will be gone. And if not still, then no worries at all. I'm not too worried because I stopped right when I started noticing something was off. That's why it's important to listen to your body very carefully when you're training, because I definitely could have kept going in my training after I noticed it hurt. I definitely could have pushed through, but I wanted to be safe, and I'm very glad I listened to myself because this is going to take very little time to heal. Remember, burning pain and fatigue and that lactic acid feeling is fine, but sharp pain, clicking, anything like that is a no-go. But I will be updating you guys my status on the next vlog as well. I'm going to be constantly doing rehab work, icing, taking care of myself, and hopefully we'll be back at it soon. Thank you guys so much for watching this vlog. Make sure you guys go follow me on Instagram at the Calisthenics Project for more great calisthenics tips and content. And I will see you guys the next vlog. Peace.